into 2025. So, hey, without any further ado, let's go back to our guest line and let's see if we can't bring in the game winner, the game-winning goal scorer for that big game against Denver, Mattias Del Monte, kind enough to join us. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, Lou. Thanks for having me.
Hey, the pleasure is all mine. Happy holidays. Your holiday was made a little bit sweeter with that big win over Denver, huh?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome. We stayed in Vegas and practiced through Christmas. So that was a change of scenery, but it was great. It was cool being around the guys for that extended period. You know, we had nothing to do except practice, lift, and hang out. So that was awesome. And then, yeah, we went home. We got a week off this past week. So, you know, great to see family and friends and, yeah, have a little something to talk about.
So I got to ask you, you know, you're playing these NCAA teams. I know you did last year. Obviously the result wasn't what nobody likes to lose. And then, of course, you played Lindenwood earlier this year. You know, I've never played at that level, at the collegiate level in any sport. When you're out there on the ice with some of these teams, do they take you seriously? Do they trash talk you? Tell me a little bit about that when you're out on the ice.
No, I think especially guys at that level,
yeah,
it's, you know, they don't waste an opportunity to play. For them, there's a reason they schedule these exhibition games.
Okay.
You know, for Lindenwood at the start of the year, they want to get their systems right. They want to get their feet under them because, you know, there's limited exhibition season. And so, you know, they play us, they get their feet under them, and then they go in and play, you know, they went to Wisconsin the weekend after us. And so there's, I'd say there's no team that we've played that hasn't taken us serious in that regard.
Okay.
Like Denver, same thing. You know, we talked to a couple of guys that, you know, we have some mutual connections on the team, and they say, you know, we're just as dialed in. You know, they went to Maine last weekend and played them, and that's why, you know, they get 2 weeks off for Christmas. They get to play us in a game, get their game speed back, and so they're just as dialed in as always. And you know, they sure they could look past us in a sense and saying, okay, this is a tune-up game, but they're still out there taking it serious and talking to those guys after the game. You know, it was nothing but, you know, respect for the game we played and, you know, kicking themselves a bit for not being as prepared as they should have been.
Well, I got to tell you, Mattias, one of the things that obviously I was impressed when you jumped out to the 5-1 lead. You know, that is amazing. But I got to tell you what impressed me even more was, and I always marvel at teams that are able to kind of regroup. 6-6 going into overtime. You guys didn't look like you were rattled at all. And you rebounded from that, held them off, and then got that shootout win. My kudos to that. What did you guys say at the end of regulation just to kind of maybe put that, but you know, not being able to maintain that lead and just refocus into overtime?
Yeah. It was all about the messaging on the bench was all about keeping our composure and saying, hey, we're in overtime now. You know, what happened that period happened. You know, they came in waves. We got into a bit of penalty trouble, and realistically, I mean, they're too good of a team to give 3 power plays in a period. They're going to capitalize.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it's easy. You know, we're all getting, myself included, getting frustrated watching it slip away.
Yeah.
But once it goes to OT there, hey, gather your heads. If you're on the ice here, play composed, make smart plays. You know, it's playing these Division I games. Like for us going to play Denver, there's such, you know, 2 national championships the past 3 years. It's easy to put them on a pedestal. But at the end of the day, you just got to remind yourselves, hey, these are a bunch of guys 19 to 24, just like us, playing hockey their whole lives. You know, it's, yeah, they're more skilled than us, but at the end of the day, when we're out there on the ice, no one cares. Just play them as men.
You know, I got to tell you, Mattias, even, you know, from a selfish point of view on my side, you know, covering the ACHA for a decade now, and then, you know, I don't think you guys get enough recognition, but to me, it just shows that maybe there isn't such a gap between the D1 ACHA and some of these D1 teams. And, you know, you played the cream of the crop at NCAA level, you know?
Yeah, it's testament to the junior system. You know, I think 100%, you know, our team is super skilled. And I played a year of D3 hockey at Utica.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's a high-end D3 program.
Sure.
And, you know, we have comparable skill here. It's guys who excelled in juniors, and for whatever reason, you know, guys who there's Division 1, they had Division 1 looks along the way that just didn't work out or didn't pan out. And it's cool that there's different avenues now. It's not, everyone just forget, oh, you didn't make it D1, forget about it. You get to come here and, live in Las Vegas and be a part of, the building of a special program, and you get to play these games and have these opportunities every season.
The following that you guys have too, I don't want to bring up, you didn't get to where you wanted to be last year. You almost did, but that championship game, the watch parties that you guys had in Vegas, that was awesome to hear about that, and to know that people were really paying attention to you guys out in Vegas while you were in St. Louis.
Yeah. That community support is so cool for us. And, we feel it on campus, and like you said, around town, like the community, it's pretty amazing to have that many people turning out at this stage in the program. And it makes, looking ahead to, when this program pushes over that line and gets Division 1, it'll be so cool to be, they supported us all the way through. We had fans all the way.
So I want to go back to the Denver game for a second again. Now, Mattias, how many shootouts have you been a part of, at the end of games like that?
As a shooter, that was my second attempt in my hockey career. And
wow.
my first one was in junior, and I skied it. I didn't even hit the net. So when I was going, they had the booze raining in, and up until about the top of the circles, I was pretty much just focused on keeping the puck on my stick and getting a good shot off.
I mean, what was your nerve level like?
I was honestly, I said this in another interview, I think I wasn't expecting to go at, until I was thinking maybe 10th round around there, I'll start dialing in. But I was just I was in watch mode. Once we got out of OT, you're kind of like, okay, forms, cheering for the goalie, cheering for the shooters. You're just watching. And I had my chin strap undone. And when coach gave me the tap, it was like I didn't have enough time to get nervous. I did it up, got out there, and like I said, focused on not losing the puck when the booze started coming in. And looked up. I think the lack of thought helped me. I was confident when I got in there. And our second shooter beat the goalie low glove and hit the post. So I just figured, hey, may as well go back there.
Well, you got to tell Coach Greener, just, don't put me on the shootout until about the 10th. That way you're not waiting for it. And then, because maybe if you're waiting for it next time, maybe it won't be, the result won't be the same then.
Yeah. Now my percentage is up. I don't need to go anymore.
Well, hey, you know what? That to me would be the ultimate prize, in a game like that, to be able to do that. I think that would be so much fun. I've never been a part of that. It's fun watching, but so let's talk about this year a little bit. Now, I know, again, you had a good run at the Nationals last year. You got to the championship game, and you guys, you did well. You run into a solid program like Adrian, but how much of that has been your focus when you started training camp or even summer lifting or whatever coming into this year?
Yeah, it sets the expectation super high, which I think is a good thing. All us returners were coming back and saying, okay, it's literally championship or bust, because we got there last year. We're second place in the country, and the only way to go up from there is to win it all. And so we had that high expectation coming in, and I think that's helped us. It's been important to kind of stay present and not look ahead to it, and not think, oh, we just nationals. It's been okay. Who do we got this weekend? Handle business there. But I think we're taking all the right steps. We've developed a ton as a team over the first few months of the season, and it's just about laying down the foundation so that when we get to nationals, we can win 4 games in a row.
No, it's obvious, Mattias, you guys, everybody looks at the rankings. I mean, you see where you're at. This may be a dumb question, but how hard is it to not try to get distracted by having such a high ranking and keep the focus towards the prize?
Yeah, I think the first few weeks of the season are always the worst for it. Everyone, oh, there's a lot of movement, and it's like, oh, where is everyone? Where is everyone? Past that, you kind of settle in and say, hey, we just got to play. At the end of the
Uh-huh.
day, play, win, let the rankings figure themselves out.
And I was talking with our previous guest, Matt Sterling, the coach of Oakland, and what I look at, and I've noticed in the last couple of years, is the more successful teams are the ones that don't have the one hotshot shooter, and then everybody else really far behind. I look at your team; you've got so many guys that are the scoring level is really distributed evenly with you guys, and it looks like you can go to anybody to deliver for you guys, and that's a sign of excellence, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think our coaches did a great job recruiting this year, and the depth we have is a testament to that. And yeah, like you said, it's we get into these national games where it's win or go home, and you never know. You never know which line's going to step up. It could be your first, fourth, second, third, and it's that's what makes that's why Adrian won last year. They
Yeah.
had four. Their third, fourth line stepped up in the finals, and they found a couple that we couldn't find, and that's what single elimination games are all about. It's about your whole team and who can find them.
Well, I got to tell you, one of the things that stood out to me with you guys watching it in person last year and broadcasting it was good teams like yours, and is the discipline level that you have, and you guys had that. And when somebody asks me the difference between D1 and D2 national tournaments, that's it. You can't take dumb penalties, because you can't give up a power play goal. You put yourself in a hole. And I think that was a big part of your success, really, the discipline that you guys had right through. And you ran into a buzzsaw in the finals, but the discipline level you guys had was enormous. And I think that's huge.
Yeah, 100%. It's massive. When, like I said, single elimination, it's one game, you
Yeah.
got to win it. You can't just let a little mental slip, a little retaliation, put you down a goal. You can't give away goals. And so, yeah, that's a huge emphasis for us all year, because, it's the habits that we have. If we're taking bad penalties in November, one's going to leak in at nationals, and you can't have that. So we've done a good job of building our discipline so far this year. And like, it's a great point. It's especially when you get into nationals and you're playing the best teams in the country, you don't want to put their power play unit out there. You don't want
No,
to even give them a chance.
no, that's right. So, one of the other things too, and you got another big test this weekend. You got Jamestown coming. They're always a national power. You guys, even though you were runner up, you got the target on your backs too. And because a lot of teams use you as a measuring stick as well.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I mean, Jamestown being up there in same geographic location as Minot,
Yeah.
I think they must get sick of playing each other all the time.
Yeah.
And so it's nice for them to, when they come down here, they say, okay, let's, we'll play some of the other top teams in the country. And yeah, I like to think we put the target on each other's back. It's no, we know that they're going to bring their best, but we get just as excited to play them. We had a great game in Chicago against them. It was tight checking. It felt
Yeah.
like playoff hockey. And so we're excited for it. It'll be good. They play a super structured game. So we got to be ready to match that.
And you talked about that showcase in Chicago. Those are fun. I bet you they're more fun for the players than they are for the coaches. You get away and get a little different kind of, not really a national tournament feel, but kind of a structure like that where you get to play some top teams.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. We always play teams that we don't usually play, which is fun. And it is a good, like you said, it's not exactly like the national tournament, but it's a good prep for that. And, for most of us, we haven't played, there's games at nationals in the morning, at noon,
Yeah.
in the middle of the afternoon. Like, we're not, even that stuff is good prep, saying, okay, we got a 10 a.m. We played Jamestown at like, noon, and it was good. We get in our routine. And then when we go to nationals,
Yeah.
that kind of, okay, we did this a few months ago and we played well. And yeah.
So I got to ask you, when you first thought about coming to UNLV, and did you all think, Playing hockey in a city that gets to 120 degrees? Did that ever cross your mind at all? I know maybe that's just me thinking stupid thoughts.
I mean, in a good way, yes. I thought, wow, like what a treat. I've played hockey in cold weather
Oh
towns and
my.
cities for my entire life.
Yeah.
And my buddy that I grew up with was actually playing on the Knights at the time. And he said, dude, like hockey is growing out here big time. And, we play and practice at the Knights practice facility.
Okay.
And so he said, I obviously trust him a lot. And he
Yeah.
said, dude, I watch these guys practice all the time and it's good hockey. And so, having that trust from him. And then I got out here on a visit and I actually came kind of late spring. So it wasn't quite too hot. And I was like,
Yeah.
wow, this is hard to beat. I'm from the Pacific Northwest where I was just home for a week and I don't think I saw the
Okay.
sun one time.
Oh my.
And so,
Wow.
yeah, it's been great, but honestly, everything like it's a comprehensive program. My academic experience has been great. I hope to stay here and work here after I graduate.
Oh, good.
Top-notch facilities and golfing year round.
Oh, boy, you can't beat that, can you? What's your
No.
handicap?
I play off a 12.
Well, that's not too bad. I would take that. I'd take that about now. So you're from the Pacific Northwest. What was who was your favorite hockey team growing? Well, you're young compared to me, but who's your favorite hockey team?
Canucks. Always the Canucks.
Right on. Okay, the Sundin brothers, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I love the Sedins. It's nice. My roommate here is from the Vancouver area.
Oh,
And
cool.
so we watch every Canucks game. So we're always breaking down the team. Yeah.
So if there's one thing that you may think that you gotta, I don't know, maybe just tweak a little bit to keep that run going to get to St. Louis and get the brass ring, what would it be that you maybe as a team or yourself, you think you may have to work on a little bit?
I think our exits out of the D zone, if we
Okay.
just get the puck moving north a bit quicker, I think our O zone's been so good this year, but we've been a bit prone to being hemmed in at times. I think we get our exits, we get out of the zone quicker. We're gonna be hard to handle.
Well, I know, like I said, it's going to be fun to watch in St. Louis. I'm good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. I don't see that where you don't make it, but keep up the great work, Mattias. It's fun watching your team. I watched the highlights of that win. I've seen you guys on Flow Hockey, and it was a joy to be able to broadcast your games last year at the national tournament. And keep up the great work. Thanks a lot for taking time out to be with us tonight. This was fun. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. And again, we'll look forward to seeing you in St. Louis, and good luck. And congratulations again on the big win over Denver.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
All right. Mattias Del Monte, the captain of the Skatin Rebels, ranked number 3 in the country right now, as we mentioned, at the D1 level. They got a big weekend set against Jamestown coming up. So there's no rest for the weary. And but I know they wouldn't have it any other way, as it gets them battle tested, and it helps with the rankings too, to stay in that top. It's like we mentioned, you want to stay in the top 8 to get at least a bye rather, out of the first round into the second round of the national tournament. And it just you get an extra